Hey everyone, it's Fahrenheit 4051 here, and I have 5 new fire alarm devices to show you. All of these signals were made by Wheelock, and they all came together in the same package. I'll be talking a little bit more about the facts and features for each one, and we'll start clockwise from the top left. So, you see this right here, and you're probably thinking, newer style Wheelock MT, but not so fast. This is actually an AMT 241575W. Now, if we look in the back, the difference between the MT and the AMT is that the AMT is actually an 8-wire device. So what 8-wire means is that there are actually 4 different inputs. There's priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, and the strobe. Priority 1 overrides all the others. Something else that sets the MT apart from the standard MT is this little disclaimer right here. Warning, not to be used as a visual public mode alarm notification appliance. So this is intended only for private mode signaling. That means that it's a signal intended for response by the staff rather than the general building occupancy. It is then the staff's job to instruct the rest of the occupants on what to do in the event that the signal is triggered. Because staff are specifically trained to recognize a private mode signal, the requirements for strobe coverage and audibility are a bit more lax. Now, one common example of private mode signaling is in a hospital. You'll often see chimes, like these over here, rather than horns. In fact, when I got this alarm, the wires were connected to priority 3, which was set to vibrating chime. Now, this is a horn strobe, and the chime tone on this is quite a bit louder than on a true chime strobe. Priority 2 was set to high-low, and priority 1 was set to march time horn, but neither of those were actually ever used, just the chime. If we look on the back one more time, we can see that this is the tone selection dip switch. I'm not exactly sure how the logic works on this, or what each combination corresponds to, but if I had to guess, flipping any of these switches would affect all 3 priorities. Now the last dip switch right here is the volume, and it's set to low presently, but even that low tone, or low volume rather, is relatively loud. Now we'll move on to the CH7024 MCW. We'll put that right here. As you can probably see, externally this is identical to the E70 series of voice evacuation speakers. If we remove the cover plate, we could see that it's got the same big old speaker cone rather than a piezo horn like the AMT. Let's put that back. This unit is equipped with a multi-candela strobe, meaning you can select the brightness with this little slider under here. As you can see, it's currently on the lowest setting, which is 15 candelas. What you do to change it is just stick a tool in there. Like the AMT, the CH70 is intended for private mode signaling only. But unlike the AMT, this is a true chime strobe. This would not be loud enough for public mode signaling. Now, if we flip it over, you can see that there are a few controls. There's the volume potentiometer right here, so it goes from low to high, and the tone potentiometer right here. That's pitch low to high. There's also a jumper for selecting between vibrating and single stroke. Single stroke would be for your coded circuits. So if you had a NAC set to code 3, you'd set this on single stroke so that it will only ding once per power-up. Or rather, for each pulse. That's what I meant. Now this is just a CH7024. It's just the strobe-only version of the CH7024 MCW. If we look on the back, it's pretty much the same. 2 potentiometers right here, and then the single stroke and vibrating jumper. Just no terminal for the strobe light, because there is no strobe light. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have 2 Wheelock 7002T 24s. And yes, these are in fact 7002Ts. As we can see by the screw terminals, that's what the T stands for. And it does say 7002T, so I am thoroughly convinced. Now, these alarms were manufactured in 1978 and 1979, respectively, both in December. One of the more interesting things about the 7002T is what I like to call a parasitic strobe. What I mean by this is that the strobe can actually not operate without the horn, and it's dependent on the opening and closing of these two contacts right here to generate oscillation. This means that it requires less circuitry than a normal strobe, but with the side effect that each time the strobe flashes, the horn cuts out and makes a clapping sound. Wheelock actually considers this a feature rather than a bug, because an interrupted tone is easier to hear and separate from background noise. Alright, now that I'm finally done rambling, it's time to see what they do. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're still here, I'm going to take this opportunity to plug my new science fiction web series, Inspector Sands. There's a link to that down in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like ringing bells so much, there's one right down there next to the subscribe button. Alright, that's about it. Until next time, folks. Bye-bye.